It's Monkey here, and today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I feel like I've been overwhelming you guys with the LMS series, so we're gonna do we're gonna be talking about efficiency versus inefficiency, or efficient methods versus inefficient methods. So, what are we gonna be talking about? It's gonna be saving data onto memory versus constantly reading and writing from and to files. Now, I recently, well, not recently, actually a year ago, I uploaded a video on how to save kills and deaths onto the config file, but that was constantly writing onto uh, files, and it's really not the best way to do it. Now, let's say that every time you kill a zombie, you get one token, okay? And then here we have the tokens hash map, or sorry, we have the tokens map, and then we scroll down a little bit more. We just register the inefficient events, which are these guys, and then we register the efficient events, which are these guys, and then we load all balance onto memory. Now I have both like efficient and inefficient examples here. So let's go ahead and start with the inefficient entity listener. So, as I said, you grab the player, check if the entity that died was a zombie, and then the way that someone would probably get the amount of kills the player has is by doing config.getInt and then config.set and then saving the config. Now, think about this for a moment. Think about a really big faction server, something like Cosmic PvP, something like Gontrol or whatever. Those guys like have thousands of players killing mobs all the time. Now, in your private test server or in your little 10-player server, you might not notice any difference. But when you're constantly reading and writing to a file with, you know, thousands of, different entries at a time, it's gonna cause like memory leaks and you might get a bunch of exceptions. But now let's go into the player listener, and as I put here, literally do nothing. Now, one thing that I want to show you guys here, which I bookmarked because I found this yesterday when I came up with the idea of making this video. We're gonna go scroll down to here, clips, post. So basically, this guy was doing like support change values while he mines blocks. So every time someone mined a block, he wanted to do get config.set1 to that player. He wanted to do that, and obviously he said it was a bad idea, blah blah blah. And he made his own player wrapper, which we do in the LMS series. We do the same thing, but he said something pretty important here. I suggest making an object that holds data related to a player and store the player data objects for unknown players, and store it in a cache until they log out. This is exactly what I do for everything. So let's go into the save balances and load balances methods. So here I just grab the config. We have a little integer here, and then I go through all the sections that have player on them, the player section in the config, and then I put the tokens related to the UUID from that section, and also the amount. And I just make the amount +1 because I want to know how many balances were loaded at the end. And it's the exact same thing with saving. It's just grabbing every set from the tokens map and then just putting it down on the config. So this is just reading and writing to a file at the very start and end of the server, of the server's lifespan, if you want to call it that. It's not bad. Like, it's not bad, period, because your only alternative really would be to do this, and it's really not something you want to do. So yeah, special thanks to Clip for writing that up, even though it's like a year old and I just found it yesterday. But let's go into the efficient methods now. So if we go into efficient entity listener. Now, the thing I do here is I grab the amount of tokens they already have, and then I get the tokens map and I put it to the killer, and then I just add +1. And this should not be there. I don't know why I did that. But yeah, that's all I do, and that's all you have to do as well. And then if you go into the player listener, whenever they log in, I check if the tokens map has their ID. If it does not, I just put it to 0. Now, this is not supposed to be a fully finished plugin. This was just supposed to be a demonstration of efficiency versus, inefficient methods, if you will, of doing other things. Um, Obviously, we don't want them to always have a balance of 0 whenever they log in. We want them to have a previous balance of whatever was loaded, but we are, what's it called? It's just something that we're gonna have to deal with for now because it's not supposed to be a full plugin. So let's go to the command section now. Obviously, check if it's the console. It's not. I'm not even gonna build this plugin. Like, if you go into the artifacts, I'm not even gonna build it. It's just for demonstration. Now, if they did arg0 inefficient, this would show them the inefficient way to grab their tokens. Again, I'm not saying that grabbing values from the config is bad. I'm not. What I'm saying is that just think about the amount of players that are going to be using this plugin, like the amount of players on a server that are going to be using this plugin. If you have your little 10-player townie server, then this might be the easy way to do it, and maybe your recommended way. But if you want to do a more efficient way, then again, use maps. It's really, really easy because like the big thing that I've seen people like say is that, oh, I don't use maps because they reset on a restart or whatever. All you have to do is just save it on the config. But, people just like to make excuses. Anyways, that should be about it for this video. I know it was kind of boring. Like, even I didn't really like it, but it's it's just things you have to know. It's things you have to, actually recognize. If you want to actually call yourself a developer, you need to know these kind of things. And there's many, many other things. I'm not going to say that I'm the perfect developer, I'm the best developer, but I know some things that you guys should probably learn. This is why I have this channel, to teach you guys how to do stuff the correct way. And whenever I do something the incorrect way, I always correct it in either I put an annotation in the video, or in a follow-up video I say, hey, I did this wrong, do it this way, stuff like that. So yeah guys, that's about it. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like the video, follow me on GitHub. I know I say that all the time, but follow me on GitHub. If you want a shout out, put it down in the comments. Last video, no one wanted a shout out, which makes me very sad. Come on, if you want a shout out, put it in the comments. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching guys, and see you all later.